We're going to attempt recording. I even,
Okay.
I even, because I always forget, I even did this. Violet will laugh at me because I made a little sticky note that says record and stuck it to the computer
Wonderful.
to remind myself
Wonderful.
to do it. Right.
Ah,
We are here. And thank
hello.
goodness for Violet 108 because about 4.5 minutes ago, none of this was working. And then our beautiful tech queen over there on the other side of the world, I'm like calling her, going, I'm sending her a message going, help, you got 2 minutes. And she's like, uh-oh.
What's
But we
going
got it,
on?
we got it sorted. And welcome. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm super
Welcome,
excited. There's
welcome.
lots of people already here in the chat. We got Susan,
Yes.
obviously Violet is here, Soraya is here. Hey Soraya, Maribel. Who we got?
Yeah, so many
Angela.
beautiful people.
So many
Mm-hmm.
people. I love it. Thank you everybody for coming. And of course, we have the amazing Yaima here with me. The witches are in the house. I'm super excited. I did a
Super
meditation the
happy.
other morning after, Yaima and I were part of Violet's Intuitive Cafe last month, and we've been chatting off screen, in messages and stuff. And I did a meditation the other morning, and I was like, I could just see a collab with just the two witches. Not that the others aren't amazing, but this is a witchy thing. So I wanted to do a two witch thing. And I'm like, I had all these ideas. And then I was like, actually, I better ask Yaima first whether she's even interested in doing something like this before I get ahead of myself. So then I'm emailing her and I'm like, do you think you'd be interested? And I'm like, I get this, yes, back. So yeah, I'm super excited. Hey, Caitlin. So welcome, Yaima. Thank you for joining me. I'm
Um,
super excited to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carly. I'm super happy. And yes, I was super excited. At the first moment, I was like, I want to do this, but yeah, I don't know about working with someone else, doing things with someone else, but I was like, go with the flow of life. Let's see how it goes. She's so beautiful. She's great. You love to be with these beautiful souls. So let's go and see. Have a good time. So yes, for sure. Yes, for sure. I'm super excited and super honored that you invited me to do this.
Oh,
Honestly.
oh, it's amazing. I love that not only with this platform, but with the amazing technology when it works,
Mm-hmm.
we get to come together in different sides of the world. So obviously it's early in the morning. Well, not early, but it's like 9:30 in the morning for me. My day's only just started, and you've come home from work, and your day is ending, and yet we can come together and connect and share our journeys with all these amazing people here on this amazing platform. So
Mm-hmm.
today's session is it's kind of just a little fun, what we called show and tell, just so that we could get to know each other a bit more, but also share with the people here our favorite practices or tools or different things that we use in what we class as our witchy life, right? So I want to open it up to you first, Jaima, and just ask you if you would like to have like an introduction about how you became the Green Witch or what that means for you in
Mm-hmm.
within yourself as well. So take it away.
Yes, for sure. And that's actually a great way to start, I think. Just to explain a little bit more about what is green witchcraft, because people can be like asking, okay, but what it is exactly and how do you do it? There are rules for that. If I want to be or I feel that I am, how do I go about it? And the thing is that basically a green witch is a person that is very in tune and connected with nature, specifically or mostly, with the plants and the earth, and also even sometimes with the stones and crystals because they come from the same source, they interact and all of that. So it's basically that, and you use them not only, let's say, for benefits in medicine or nutrition or any other things, you use them magically. So you know the properties that they have, the traditional uses, and you basically do that. You use them to create some effect because magic is basically that. You want to create something, you want to effect like some changes most of the times in your life or in others people's life, and you use those elements. You are a creative witch, so you know that there are many type of witches, right? So the hedge witch, the earth witch, the elemental witch. There are so many, so many as you can imagine,
I joke
right?
sometimes and call myself the chaos witch because I don't tend to have
Okay.
a plan.
Okay, that's cool too. And there's also the eclectic witch,
Yeah.
that we can incorporate like many things.
Yeah.
Uh, but traditionally, and just to talk a little bit more about how I do it, how I practice in general, in some way, because if you go to a book, sometimes they tell you, well, witches, usually they work with the seasons, besides, the elements that you traditionally work, let's say in my case, the plants mostly. They work with the seasons and also very connected with the moon, But you can also maybe feel like me. I was when I it came to me that realization. Yes, I do feel that I am a green witch, and I will get to that. Also, I was, reading how is this, how because you go to to sources, and I was, yeah, but you know what? I do know that I am a green witch. I can feel it in my soul because I'm so connected intuitively also to the plants, and I have always been, even if I didn't know consciously. But in my case, Carly, for example, I don't work with the moon. That's something that I don't do. Not for nothing. I mean, the moon is excellent for intuition, and I do know that. The thing is that I don't feel connected, especially to the moon. So, and that doesn't mean that I am not a witch. I'm saying that and explaining that because maybe some people have that inclination, but they say, oh, I don't fit in these boxes, You don't need to fit in the boxes. You can be as you are and practice the way that you feel more connected to. So in my case, I am more connected to the sun. I don't know, maybe it's because of my background coming from a tropical island in the Caribbean. I don't know if that is the reason, but it's sunny like
Yeah.
every day of the year almost. And here where I live right now in Miami, that's why I live here at the moment, probably because the weather is so similar. So the sun is very important to me. Like I love the day and do things during the day mostly. And when I used to live for a while in a place in a country that was more like cloudy, I used to be like so sad and depressed. I don't like that, you know what I mean? So I feel more connected with the sun and I love it. I always say that I am a little flower that needs the sun to be happy.
Yeah.
And another thing about what I was saying related to the seasons. I do know that many witches traditionally they work with them, summer, autumn, winter, and they do have like, let's say, rituals for that. And many of the books that you read about witchcraft, they explain about that a lot, and I don't connect to that either.
Yeah.
It probably because, like I said, tropical island, now Miami, sunny Miami, we don't have seasons. So for me, it's hot and maybe a little bit hot. Let's say in December, January, sometimes some cold fronts. But so for me, seasons are not something that resonates with me. And that doesn't mean that I cannot practice. So for me, it's the plants, it's the sun. The power that they have, the energy, the beauty, the properties. I am also an herbalist, so everything comes together. And how I became this, I think I always was, but I didn't know, you know what I mean? Since I was a kid, I always loved the plants. I always had like a green thumb to make them grow. And at the same time, my favorite color is green. And there are so many things. And one day, some time ago, I woke up like feeling I don't know, for some reason, besides my herbal practice and everything else that I do, I feel that I don't know why I feel in my soul that I need some magic. I want to feel magic. I don't know how to explain it because I was like, magic, but why that word is coming to me, magic? And then I was like, well, I should practice some magic, but what kind of magic? And I was, for some reason, it came to me, as intuition, green magic. And I was, okay, this is coming to me. Let me find out what it is and how I can do it and why this is coming to me as an intuition. And I was, yes, when I started seeing more and like learning a little bit more, yes, this is for me. And it came so natural. And I was, yes, that's why all the dots are connecting right now. All the hobbies, all the preferences is because of this. And then I started, learning the ropes and practicing and all of that and incorporating this in other areas of my life or as much as I could. So
Yeah.
basically, that's how.
I love that. And there's so much that's so consistent with me as well. So here on the Gold Coast where I am, we actually call this the Florida of Australia because it is hot, 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 and just varying degrees of hot all year round. We don't have proper seasons here. We don't get like we get winter and we get cooler days and we get storms and we don't get snow. We don't get really cold. It's just varying degrees of hot. Like it's tropical here all year round, basically. And I love that too.
Mm.
I couldn't handle it. If we get a couple of days of rain, I'm like, how do people in the UK live with this all the time? Like I would lose my mind. So I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. And I always laugh that I reckon I am part reptile because I need the sun to recharge myself. That if I don't
Mhm.
go out and connect with the sunshine, I feel like my battery hasn't been recharged. So I do connect with the moon as well, but I agree. I think I connect with the sun more, but I do work with the moon phases. And I
Mhm.
really loved how you said not every witch needs to connect with all parts. Like I get people tell me all the time, oh, so you're Wiccan or you're pagan or you worship the devil. And I was like, oh, well, no, I'm not Wiccan. No, I'm not pagan. No, I definitely do not worship the devil. In fact, Satan was created by Christianity and not by the witches. Um, but anyway, so like I do a little bit of herb stuff. I'm not a green thumb. I can grow mulberries and rosemary. That's it. Everything else I kill for some reason. Do I know all the herbs? No. Do I know every crystal on the planet? No. Do I know all the goddesses' names? No, I can't even pronounce half of them. I don't know every tarot card. I don't know every part of pagan history. But that doesn't mean that I'm not a witch because for me, a
Mhm.
witch is a woman or a person who has connected with their own light so that they believe in themselves enough to heal themselves. And that healing from within ripples out into the world. Because the original witches for me were the healers, the shamans, the medicine women, the people that we come to get help, right? And for me, when I embraced my inner witch, it was all about embracing my own healing because I could heal myself in whatever
Mhm.
way. And so I laugh. I used to call myself an eclectic witch, but then I realized I'm more chaos than anything. So chaos witch or creative witch, but definitely more creative witch. I've been a creative
Mhm.
person my whole entire life since I was very, very little. Like creativity is my superpower. It's my oxygen. It's my love language. And so for me, I can turn just about my family call me like the MacGyver of creativity because I can make something out of a paperclip. Like, but I really love like I don't subscribe to that whole baby witch terminology. Like if you embrace yourself as a witch, you're a witch. You don't have to go through a learning phase. You're not a baby witch. Just embrace it. I don't subscribe to rules. If I wanted rules, I'd go to church. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude to religions here, but there are so many out there that have got rules. I don't subscribe to rules. You do you, you do it the way that works for you. And whether that is moon work or sun work, whether that's
Mhm.
herbs or crystals, or whether that's none of the above, and you just stir an intention into your drink once a day, whatever works for you. I don't subscribe to the people who say you're only a real witch if you come from a bloodline heritage. No, everybody's got it in us. We all come from the bloodlines of the original ancestors, right? And I certainly don't subscribe to knowing it all. Not every person on this planet knows everything. So, you know, that's just the way I am. And some people take it or some people don't. And I think it's really important that we just don't let anybody tell us how to be a witch or how to live and how to do our craft. And I'm just big on open to discovery and open to growth and open to the magic that comes with whatever works for you. Yeah. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So, as the first show and tell, what would be, like in our own little practices in our own day to day, in our own life and our own rituals and things like that, what would be one of your main things that you definitely use a lot of or need to have as your first show and tell?
Good question. Yes. I think the simplicity is always best. I mean, if it resonates with you, but for me, that's the way it is. So, for example, exactly as you're doing, drinking a tea whenever you feel like it, and if it's possible, like daily, because of the benefits and connecting and having like a quiet time. So that's essential for me. Also, every morning when I wake up, even if I'm going to stay home, or maybe if I'm gonna leave for work or errands, whatever it is, I first go. Well, first I meditate, but that comes also from another tradition that connects with this one. That is my yogini. My practice is as a yogini. But then I go outside and I greet my little plants and I touch them, all of them, even before knowing, yes, I am a green witch, like consciously. Every morning I needed to go and do that. And when I come back or in the afternoon when the sun is a little bit, like lower and it's not disturbing so much or so hot, I go outside again. I try to see it because I love it. It's not like a ritual because, okay, I'm a green witch, I need to do this. No, it's that I need it and I feel so recharged.
Yeah.
So, not only in the morning and the afternoon, like every now and then during the day, I go there and I touch them and I talk to them a little bit and I see if they need more water. And just looking at them, oh my God, they are so beautiful today. They are growing better. Oh, there's a new flower here. Or they are suffering because of the heat of the summer and stuff like that. But in the afternoon, every time I can, I sit there, when it is not that hot during the day, and I meditate there sometimes as well, even if it is noisy because I have cars passing by. And I just sit there sometimes for 1 hour or so, just looking at them and looking at the sky in my little backyard, and that connects me so much with nature and gives me so much peace. So it's so simple, but it's something that I really need. You know what I mean? I feel so much better when I do it. And when I have days that are super busy and I don't get to do that as frequently, I don't know, something is missing, something is missing inside me. So that's very important for me and it's part of that connection. Besides that, yeah, the use of the herbs, as I said, cooking or as tea. And of course, I do have my crystals, like my little amethyst that I have here, that I sleep with it to try not to have so many nightmares as I usually have. Oh, see? Oh my God. We are so connected, so in tune. And I put it here also. Yes. Ah, it's so beautiful, right? I know that probably Violet is loving this. It's so tiny. Maybe she has one that is bigger for sure, but this is oh, that's so lovely.
Tourmaline,
Oh, of course.
lapis.
Oh my God, that's so gorgeous.
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's a bird. It's been carved into a
Oh
bird. I don't
wow.
know if you can
Oh
see it
wow,
very well, but
yes.
yeah, it's kind of been like carved and shaped into a bird.
Yes, yes, yes. I can
Oh,
see it
it's
now. Oh my God, it's
beautiful.
so gorgeous. Yes, it is. So basically that this one I use it every day for that, for sleeping, and also when I'm going to do my card sessions, my readings, I put them here, I put it here, and I also touch it, to get connected with intuition and peace and all of that. So that's important to me. And also my cards. You do know that I read tarot and oracle. So I do read my tarot daily. But I also daily, besides my yogic path one, to be connected with Ayurveda and the tradition of meditation and spirituality that is so important to me. I also have like 3 decks that are related to the plants and green witchcraft. Yes, of course.
Three decks. They're my
Three is
favorite
the magic
three are
number.
sitting
Three is the
beside
magic
me.
number. So these are my witchy ones. And every day I use one of them. So this week, for example, I'm using this one. Last week I was using the new one that I had today for my session. But yes, I try to read from the tarot one card every day, the yogi path one, and one of my witchy ones. So yes, that's a practice that is important to me because it connects everything that is dear to me and my traditions. So I think daily, like let's say something daily, that's important to me. And then, of course, when I feel the need for me or for my husband, especially, yes, for my husband, I don't do it usually for any other person besides me. Of course, I do spells and rituals for things that we need. Let's say for cleansing, for good energy, purification, maybe protection when I feel that that is needed, and also it could be for abundance, depending on the needs. Remember, magic is basically the use of the elements that are out there, whatever you can work with, to create an effect for a need that you have. So basically that, yeah, I think that summarizes, but yeah. So some things are day to day, and some other things are based on needs, and the things that come up in our lives, basically. So
And
yes.
I love that. Like I have my daily not negotiable as well. That's my daily cacao, meditation. I don't pull a card every day, and I'm still learning the tarot, but I do like oracle cards. But I also
Mhm.
obviously have my charm set, so I do a lot of charms instead of tarot. But I think it's important that we have that daily need, that
Mhm.
we have those little things for ourselves. For me, it's obviously cacao, meditation, and then it's something creative, anything creative.
I was going to ask you about that.
If I
Uh-huh.
don't do something creative,
Yes.
throughout the day at some point, I feel like I can't breathe. I feel off kilter. I feel like something is missing from my life. So, if I've had a busy day like over the weekend, I ran a workshop, and even though it was a creative workshop, it was teaching other people to do things, and I was doing little bits here and there, but I still needed to do something creative for myself when I got home. So I got home and I sorted everything out, got ready for my meditation that night, and I sat down and I just did some dot painting for like 3 minutes. That was all. And it was just enough to give me a return to myself for me. So my tools, obviously, my main tools would be cacao for sure, because that reconnects me to myself. It opens my heart and just reminds me of who I am inside, not just the skin suit that we wear. I have obviously all my creative supplies, but at minimum, a paintbrush, some sort of paint, some sort of pen and paper, and I'd be happy. And then, like we smudge or sage or use Palo Santo like almost every day,
Mm.
because there's so much energy. Because where we are obviously is in a bit. It's not like the middle of a city, but it's a quite a built up area. So there's cars going everywhere. There's people walking past the house all the time. So Jordan's smudging all the time just to keep our energy high. But I
Of
like
course.
smudging myself as well, on a daily basis, just to you know cleanse the aura, cleanse the mind, you come back into this moment here.
Mhm.
So I find my biggest tool okay, my biggest and most important tool is my mindset.
Mm.
And so like when I first started out, I went and bought all the herbs and the jars, and I had like an altar set up, and I just wasn't using it because it didn't resonate with me that way. I love looking at the aesthetics of witchy things when I'm scrolling on social media. I love that. And I love the people who can sit and do spell work. And I do some every now and again, but
Mhm.
it wasn't me on an authentic level. I found me visualizing it was actually more powerful. My mindset. So that's where my
Mhm.
meditation comes into it. Because for me, it wasn't just about spells, it was about embracing inside more than anything. So I do my spell work in here and in here. And then I don't have to go and buy all the stuff because it's available to me anytime I want. If I want frankincense and myrrh, it's there. If I want mugwort, it's there. And I visualize my little apothecary in my head. I visualize it all set up the way I'd want, even though I can't physically have it, it's here within me. And I say this for the reason that no amount of aesthetics, no amount of perfect setups or spell material or anything that you could do a candle ritual every day. No amount of that for me personally will make anything happen if you don't have this, or don't believe in
Mhm.
yourself. right? Because it
Very true.
starts from our belief. You could be doing the same spell over and over again, but if somewhere deep inside you don't have the self-worth or you're hating on yourself, it's kind of canceling everything out. So I think it's beautiful to be able to have the physical things. And like I've got like a little
Mhm.
cauldron. I do have some herbs. I've got crystals. I've got a few little things around the place. But to me, it comes back to my mindset, which comes back to showing up for myself consistently every day with meditation, believing in myself, knowing that I'm worthy of taking that time, putting myself as a priority, stepping up for myself, and then anything that I put out to the universe knows that I already believe in this. So I'm going to believe in anything else that I put out. Does that make sense?
Of course, it makes total sense because it's actually, it's the power of manifestation and how
Mm.
you get to have an effect in your life. That is super important. And anyways, honestly, Carly, you can use all the tools. Like I will show you later, because we were like, okay, this is show and tell. So I will show some of my tools later. But basically, the most important thing to create magic is the intent. So you can have all the tools that you want, but if you, as you said first, you don't believe in it, if you don't believe that this plant that is so powerful, peppermint, is
Yeah,
gonna have an effect, uh, it's not going to have it, even if it
yeah.
has all the properties to create it. But at the same time, when you are doing a spell, you need to use what is called intent. And for
Mm.
intent, first you need to visualize. First, you need to have the need. Okay, what is my outcome here that I want to accomplish? Then you need to be able to visualize that outcome as it's already happening. And then you use also enchanting, which I call, because I come from that tradition, meditation as well,
Mm.
I call it positive affirmation. So everything is interconnected. So if you don't do that in your mind first and in your soul and you don't believe it, no, any tool that you have is not going to have any effect. So I do, it does total sense. It
Yeah,
makes total sense because that's the way it works.
yeah.
So, and if you're a person, like I said, any which, I mean, you can use any kind of tools, but if you don't feel like you need the tools or you work in another way, I mean, it's so powerful. It's so
Mm.
powerful when you can use your mind, your willpower, and your soul to create the effect that you need.
Yeah.
And I also mentioned that sometimes during my readings of cards, people know that I mentioned, okay, this when we have plant allies, like yesterday, you got this plant ally. Let's say rosemary is coming for you today and it's telling you this. So, yes, after we talk about that, I say, listen, you can go and meditate thinking about rosemary. You can hold, a sprig of rosemary when you are meditating. You can drink a tea. You can burn the oil, but you don't need to do that. You can do it if it's going to help you, if it's going to enhance the experience and the effects, if you connect to it, but you just need to receive the message and go about it, about that wisdom, that message. So sometimes, yes, the rituals and the instruments and the tools are great, but sometimes we get too lost in the paraphernalia, and the show and everything, and we forget what is really inside us and the magic that we come with already from the universe, the source and spirit. So yes, makes total sense to me.
I always say that these tools that we use, whether it's, a divination tool or candle for a spell work, they're tools. And the tools are just there to enhance it. They're not going to do the work. That's us.
Mhm.
We're actually the biggest tool. Here in Australia, we use the word tool because we call that person an idiot. So when I say we're the biggest tool, I'm thinking in my head that I'm calling myself a tool. But I say it as in, we have the power, right? And
Mhm.
and I say this, if I'm reading cards for anybody, I say there is not a message in these cards that you don't already have the answer to. The tools that we use are just a reminder. They're a homecoming to come back in to listen to our own intuition. Because sometimes we need something physical to um, focus on so that we
Mhm.
can connect within, right?
That's
And
true.
and that's really what these tools are all about. They're an extension of us, but they don't hold all the power. That's here. Yeah,
Yes, I
that's
totally
me.
agree with that.
That's how I,
Exactly. No, but I believe in that. That's totally
yeah,
true. That's
yeah,
totally true. We have
yes.
so much love. People are showing
I
so much
know.
love
I've
here
kind
on
of
the
been
chat,
trying to
and we are
read the
just
comments, but
talking.
I'm also kind of forgetting that
Yes,
you're here and it's just you and me.
exactly. I want to listen to you and talk to you, but we love you guys. We
Yeah,
see
we
the
do.
comments,
We're not
everyone there,
totally ignoring
our
you.
friends. So many beautiful people, so much love, and I do see that they are having a good time. So
They
thank
are
you so
having a
much for
great
being
time.
here.
They're
Yes,
having
and
a great
showing the
time.
support and the love that you are showing on the chat. I
Yeah,
love
I love
it.
that. Yes, Gabby, we've got the power, and Mim says we are the conduits. Yes, and I saw Maisha come in.
Exactly.
Hey, Maisha, another beautiful teacher here on Insight Time. We've got a whole heap of teachers in the house tonight, which is great. I love the support. Thank you,
Mm.
everybody, for being here. So feel
Yes.
free in the chat to ask a question as well if you want to ask a question, or if you've got a particular tool or a practice or a ritual or something that you do in your own magical witchy life to add that in there as well. Another thing that I really love to do, again, and this doesn't come down to a tangible item, it is a language shift. I use a lot of language shift in my life, and I try to add whimsy and magical into almost everything. So I do, even though I'm not a green witch, I don't technically have a green thumb because I'm terrible at keeping plants alive. I do have a few things that I can keep alive, but I talk to my plants. So at the moment it's mulberry season, and I'm picking at least 2 or 3 kilos of mulberries a day from
Oh,
my
wow.
a day, and I'm only getting about 60% of them. Like it is, there's so much abundance on my tree at the moment. But I go out there, my tree has
Awesome.
a name. I talk to her and I tell her how beautiful she is and how abundant, and yes, black mulberries. And I tell her how amazing her fruit is. And oh my goodness. So, yeah, I talk to the trees. If I see bees, I go, hey, friend, I see you making your magic. I talk to all the different animals and the trees and the
Mhm.
plants and all that sort of stuff. But for me, my language shift is like if I've got to go to the chemist, I'll go, I'm just shooting down to the apothecary. Or if I'm like doing laundry, I might every now and again go, I'm just preparing the royal garments.
That's so
I
cool. I
try
love it.
I try to put like little bits of magic and
Yes.
whimsy into all sorts
Oh
of
my
different things
God.
throughout my day, and I love it because
I love
you know
that.
adult responsibilities, they're boring, but they've got to be done. Why can't we turn that into magic? And you can come up with a whole different list of them. So another one that I like to use is when I'm putting perfume on, I'm like, this is my magic potion. you know so yeah, exactly, Maisha, it's the magic in the mundane.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
I think we need to try to include, even if you don't want to ever class yourself as a witch, just find the whimsy in life,
The
because
magic.
we
Yes.
are the magic, and that's what changes our energy when we can find that magic in the little things. So
Yes,
yes,
for
sorry, I did
sure.
see that Mim asked about my charm set. I'll come back to that in a second. So yeah.
Yes.
So like, or like if I'm doing something and
Mhm.
I get off track, I'm just like side quest. I'm doing a side quest or plot twist. I try to change it so it's like, it hasn't gone wrong. It's just a plot twist, because then
Mhm.
I'm not getting bogged down into the negative of what has happened. So, lots of
I
little
love that so
things.
much.
Lots of little things. So that's why for me, a lot of it is an internal working, my practices, my crafts, my rituals. Obviously, I've got a book that I haven't filled in for a long time.
Oh,
I've
your Book of Shadows. This
Yeah.
is mine.
I've got about four, and then for a while there, my Book of Shadows turned into, oh no, that's not it. I've got so many of them. Here's another one. My Book of Shadows turned more
Hmm.
into, instead of writing spells, it was doing art. So
Oh,
it was
oh,
working out
that's
how I
so
was feeling.
gorgeous.
And so it doesn't have to look the same for everybody. It doesn't have to make,
Exactly.
your way doesn't have to make sense to everybody else,
Yeah, for
right?
sure. Actually, mine, this is funny because I found this way before I was practicing green witchcraft, consciously. But I went to a shop to look for something like this, like a notebook,
Mm.
something for someone else. And I saw this one and I was so in love, and I was, well, I don't need it at the moment, but it's so gorgeous. And I was feeling guilty, but will I get it? I don't need it. I shouldn't be accumulating things unnecessary, but it's so gorgeous. I love it. So then it became my book
I
of
love
shadows.
it.
But it makes sense to me because I am very, let's say, minimalistic, with the things, and I don't like to have so many things, and I use things. I don't know. That's the way I am. So for me, the first part, I know this is not the tradition how a book of shadows or grimoire is, but for me, the first portion of the book is me making notes from other books,
Yeah.
from magicians, witches, all of that, like making notes of things that can be useful for me. Because even
Mm.
if I have the books, these are the important things that I want to have there really quick if I need to check it out.
Yeah.
And the second, and towards the end is where I write my, let's say, my spells. Let me put
Yeah.
it here, my spells. So yes, it doesn't make sense for other people. It's very deorganized for other people, but for me it is. So the
Yeah.
front is excerpts from other books, and starting from the back is my own spells that I am creating. And basically that's it. It's how it works for you. And
Yeah.
for you, it's beautiful. I love it. Yours is great.
And I think it's important that when you uh, embark on this type of journey is to do your own research and take on board different things from lots of people and try it out and then go, no, that's not for me. So obviously my book of shadows started out having all this amazing information,
Mhm.
and then, oh, look, now it's pretty much empty. Because I realized really quickly that this wasn't for me. Like it was great to
Mhm.
start and it great got me going. But I realized that I could do a little bit from this and a little bit from this and a little bit from this and not have to do it the same as everybody else, right? So
Exactly.
I think it's important that as any type of person on any type of journey, whether it's into witch stuff or not, is to find what actually resonates with you and do you and not just try to carbon copy everything that you
Mm-hmm.
see because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be
That's
authentic
true.
to yourself. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mim, what was your question about the charm set? So my charm set is been collected charms just over the years. I didn't buy an actual set. It was literally just charms that I've been collecting since I was about 15 years old. So my first lot of charms off a charm bracelet that I got at 15 are in here. So they're pretty, for me, I use them just the way you would use an oracle deck. So I've been collecting charms, adding them in here. In the same way you would pick up a oracle deck or a tarot deck or pendulum, you're asking a question, you want information or you want a message, you want a sign, I would sit with the energy and I can either just pull out one and whatever that symbol is what the message that I need. Or there's a token, a charm in here that you call the seeker, which is like a girl. This is her here. So I could also do a reading where I put her, which represents me, down on the page. And then again, I would ask the question or whatever message I would want. And this time you pick up a few and you drop them on top of the seeker. And then however they land, some might spread out, some might be upside down, some might be on top of the seeker. And it's like reading a set of cards. Multiple cards together are going to mean different if they're combined as if they were individual. And so sometimes the charms might be two together and one further away. Well, that one there might be a message that's going to come and something that's sitting right on top of the seeker charm might be right now. So there's a lot of different ways in which, and again, it's in individual practice. So it's however it resonates for you. But I love the whimsy of the charm set being so different to cards. So, and like I said, I've been collecting these since I was 15 and I'm 47 now. So I probably should have a lot more, but they end up being put in my craft set as well. So I end up
That's
using a lot of my
beautiful.
charms in crafting. So yeah, I love it. So Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Mim. And Liz, I'm glad that your charm reading you had with me was spot on. So that's fantastic. So what else? So I loved how you said before your email that you've got the things that are daily that you need to do and then the things
Mhm.
as needed. So what is something that's really as needed that you might not do a lot of, but then when you do it, it's really powerful or really connecting
And
for you to bring you
intentional.
back to center?
Yes, like for example, in my home at some point, because of different things that were happening, I felt that we needed some kind of cleansing and purification. That was actually recently, some weeks ago, 1 month or so. So for example, I took my cauldron, which is a pot that I have in the kitchen, because yeah, some things are like fancy guys, but the majority of things are things that you can find in your kitchen, and it's funny
Yeah.
because I have this table prepared since last night with so many things to show, depending on how things go and how the motivation that I receive at the moment. But my husband had to cook today, and he was, I took the pot from there, but I wash it and it's there ready for you if you need it. And I was, yeah, probably I won't show it, but yes. So for that purification spell, to walk the home with it. I did a simmering pot using this one that I used to cook. I don't put obviously anything poisonous there, so caution, guys. And I
You're
have a
not
smallest.
boiling belladonna over there or anything.
Exactly. And that's a good example because that's one of the cards that I have in one of my decks. And I'm always cautioned, do not use it. It's for you as a plant ally, but do not use it. Exactly. And I have a smallest one there. So for example, I do that spell. I use, let me see, because I have so many things here. Well, rosemary. Okay. So yeah, you can put rosemary for purification, protection. But I also have my life plant here that I brought from outside so I could show it, this small one. So those are things that you can put there. And of course, you can put salt that I have here, that I use in my kitchen. This is just something that I have salt there, regular salt, I have here uh, regular bay leaves, that I use for cooking also, because you have it in your kitchen, many of these things, right? And then garlic that you can put, well, I have it in my refrigerator, so I'm not gonna take it, but I have also the powder one. Cinnamon, super important because cinnamon is not only good for cleansing and protection, but to enhance any spell that you do. So the effect is going to be higher, is going to be multiplied. So yeah, a little cinnamon that you can have in your kitchen. And recently I started working with rue, and I mentioned that yesterday in my reading section because it's very powerful and protective, this herb. So as you can see, some I have them here like original bags. I have licorice tree here, so it depends. So, but licorice I didn't use it for that. I'm just showing it. But basically, you already know because of course I have studied, so I know the plants that have some effects. So for that cleansing that I needed to do and purification for the stagnant energy and things that were not working the way I wanted it, for the protection of my physical home. I wanted to protect my house, like the building, let's put it like that. So I did the simmering pot, and then of course, as I was doing it, infusing the intention in every herb because that's important, visualizing, talking to them, asking for protection and help, whatever it is, then walking with the simmering pot through the whole house, every room, for example. And I finished that by using other protection spell for the home that is staying there permanently. That is different stones, crystals that I am using. So in every window sill of the home, in the windows, I place the different stones. Like for example, I think it's fire agate. I put it in one of the windows. In another one, I put crystal clear quartz, crystal quartz, something like that. In another one, I put salt. In another one, I made a spell jar. I wanted to combine not only crystals, so I took one jar like this one and I put different herbs also that are good for protection. Of course, doing the spell, the intent and everything that I explained. So I placed that there. And there are others. So in every window of the home, I have that placed permanently. And of course, the ones that you do with herbs, you need to replace every 3 months because they lose some potency. Probably they absorb energy and all of that. The crystals, no, you can do the intent again if you want to, but the crystals is a little bit different. So that's something that I did specifically because I felt that my home needed protection physically, destruction and some things. But for example, I do have this spell. I mean, and it's funny because I am minimalistic, so I recycle many things. So this is something that I recycle. This is a spice, a jar that I had that contained spices originally. So I just took it, I got rid of the label, and I did my spell here. So this is one that I took outside. I took it here out from my purse just to show it. But this is actually a spell that I have with me that I carry with me in my purse when I go to work. Because things were changing and I wanted, to go. I was going to go to this place and I wanted to have all the protection that I can have. So I did this spell with, bay leaf, yes, also the rue and some other things that I have here, cinnamon and some other things that are good for protection. For abundance, because that is something that is needed. I did one for my husband with crystals. He loves that because simplicity is something that works and crystals are so beautiful. So for abundance, also for me, uh, I do have these three because it's a magic number, turquoise,
Mhm.
uh, jade, and aventurine. And
Mm.
of course, they have been charged with intention already. I'm just showing them to you. And I have this silver coin as well.
Ah.
That I had, yes, that I was collecting actually. So, because they also have value for attracting abundance.
Mm.
And that's something that I felt that I needed in my life. So I did that spell and I did another one. Well, my husband did it with me because I wanted him to do that one for him and because he's very intuitive too. So I was like, this one, you do it. I will tell you the steps, but you do it for yourself. And yeah, I have done for healing as well. Actually, for him recently, for healing and feeling better physically and emotionally with rue and other plants that can also be good for cleansing. For that, I put the herbs in the, like basically like a simmering pot. But what I do is that he needs to go and do like a bath, like the water. He's
Yeah.
cleansing his body with that and the energy and doing some intention. And I can do that for me as well. But I'm just putting the example of something that I did recently because he was having some health issues, that is also energy that is going on there. And I also use for those spells, actually for all of them that I mentioned, I also use candles. So I do a combination of spells, the herbs, the crystals when needed, but I always use candles. These are so tiny, but they are
Mm.
so cute
Mine are over there
because
somewhere.
they
Yeah.
also have power, right? So the green one is really good for abundance. Blue is for healing, for health. Purple is really good for the spirit and intuition. And if you combine the three, they are really good for all of that and also for healing. And yeah, of course, you can have this one is multi-purpose, the white one, and also is good for protection. And all of them actually have a purpose. So these colors, I don't usually use them like frequently, like the red, the black, let's say the yellow, the pink, but because I haven't had the need for
Mm.
those, but I have them here, and
Yeah.
if I have the let's say like, the magical need at some point, I can use them. So it's like a combination of things that sometimes you use when things come up and you feel, you know what? I can help myself besides meditating and everything else that I do and all the manifestation and all the spiritual life. I can also help a little bit myself with this,
Yeah.
and it's gonna basically support all the other
Mm.
practices and everything in life. So yes, those are some examples that I have done recently, and you can also do, and I did that recently as well when I was doing this spell for my husband for healing, a pouch. So basically, I'm not really good at with
I
the
got one under my bed. I didn't grab it. I was still under my bed.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not really good at sewing or anything. He's the one who is good, actually, fun enough. But
Mm.
little blue cloth, put the spell, the herbs and everything. For that one, actually, I use this orange peel. This is
Oh,
actually
yes.
this one I didn't buy it. I tried this one long time ago and it's delicious. It smells really great, but it's good also for those kind of spells. So I did a little pouch, you use the thread and everything and you put
Mm.
everything inside and you use like a little cordon. So I bought these that you can use like for the your shoes, but
Yep.
with that the blue color and everything. And it's not fancy, but it's working, you know?
Yeah.
It's working.
I
It
think that's
seems so.
important though. It doesn't always have to be fancy. It just has to be sustainable. It has to be achievable.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I love,
Exactly.
so I mentioned earlier, obviously, that you don't need to be able to do the physical rituals and stuff, but it's great when we do get an opportunity to do it, you know? And I do love doing
Mhm.
the rituals and the spell work when that time comes. But again, it's not a necessary need for me all the time. But when I do it, it's very powerful because I'm not forcing myself to do it when I'm not ready to do it.
Of
One
course.
of, so I've got a whole heap of little spell bottles all around the house. And one of my favorite ones is this one here.
Oh my God, that's so
And
cute.
I wear it. So,
Oh my
and
God.
inside, and
I
it's
love
funny
it.
because something that you just said before, how herbs lose their potency. I looked down at this and thought maybe it's time for me to redo this because I did this like 4 years
Mhm.
ago. And so
Oh,
in my little book here is my, can you read that?
yes, my witch. Okay.
This is my spell book. Um, so I've got a sleep pouch that I've written out that's under the bed. I've got a Be Confident jar that I gifted to a friend who was having some issues. I've got an anointing oil, a headache, be gone one. But this one here was actually created after listening to a track here on Insight Timer, and I think it was from Sarah Robinson, and I can't remember because it was so long ago. And I went on this amazing journey. And so this here is a goddess power um spell jar. And inside there's five or six elements. And it's witch, warrior, wild, wounded, wise. And so there's the five forms of us. We're all a witch, we're all warrior, we all have a wild side, we're all wounded, and we're all wise. And so there's something in there for each one of those, but then there's also lapis and then the wax on the top. And so when I was doing this, the little spell that I wrote was I claim my goddess sovereignty. The five elements of which warrior, wild, wounded, and wise are within me. The goddess is within me. And so I wear this whenever I'm meditating. This
Mm.
is something that I wear, and it's not so like I said earlier, it's not that I can't meditate without it because I have done meditations without it, but I prefer to do it when I'm, especially if I'm holding space and facilitating, I'll wear this. This it's like a talisman for me. It amplifies and reconnects me to that inner remembering. Yeah.
Mm.
So, and I've got the cord so it's adjustable so I can, make it a smaller
Oh my God,
necklace or
that's
a
so
longer
cool.
necklace. But yeah.
I want one for me. I need to make one for me,
Yeah.
but I'm not so scared
Yeah. So I
for the
just found these little
smoothie.
jars. I found these little jars
Oh,
at
love it.
just the little,
Just love
those
it.
little $2 shops. And it's got a
Mm-hmm.
cork in it and it's got like a little ring on the top. So when I sealed it off with the wax, it holds it together. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I
the
saw it.
herbs that are in it, I think will probably need to be redone. So there's black salt, which I made myself. I made my own black salt. There's basil, frankincense, bay leaf, sunflower, which I
Mm,
dried.
sunflower.
I dried
Yes.
my own sunflowers, lapis,
Wow.
and then the black wax. Yeah. And so on here I've written earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, fire my spirit. And like that, oh, and then I've got like a self-love jar, but that's pretty much it. I haven't done a lot in spell jars because sometimes, like you said, it's not always needed.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and again, it's good to have the jar, the talisman, the thing that we can carry with us or that we can gift to somebody. So the self-love jar and the confidence jar, I gifted to friends
Yes.
that were really struggling. Um,
That's
Oh,
a
so the
great idea.
sunflowers that I dried, Violet, they're actually the petals. I actually dried the flower petals, not the sunflower seeds. Yeah, so it's actually not that they're yellow anymore because of the black salt, but
Of course.
yeah.
That's so
So,
cool.
um,
And the things that you can do you don't need like to do complicated rituals
Yeah.
all the time because it's not needed, but everything that you do with intention. As
Yeah.
we were discussing before, you make a tea and you put the intention. If it's going, I mean, if it is to be soothing, or maybe because you have a cold, or you just want to relax, you put it with intent. So instead of just without thinking about it, just making the tea,
Yeah.
busy mind. You put intent, this tea is going to be good for me for relaxation or having a good time or whatever.
Mm.
Beautiful, I don't know, chamomile flowers help me relax or feel better, whatever it is. So, for example, this is one of my tools, the mortar and pestle. This is the same one that I use for cooking,
Yeah.
but as you are cooking maybe a broth or a soup or whatever, I mean that you use the garlic and you use the mortar and pestle for that. You're infusing the intention that this is going to be nourishing for me, is going to heal me, or just is going to be nutritious for me. So it's basically use intent in everything that you do in life, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. It's
No.
just the
My
normal things
girlfriend
in life.
My girlfriend sent me a message on the weekend and she said, "What is your cacao recipe? Because every time you make me a cacao, it's so much more delicious than when I do it." So I sent her how I do it, told her what to do. And then half an hour later, I get a message from her going, "Oh my God, it tastes delicious, but I only got about a quarter of it because I dropped the cup. There's cacao all over the kitchen. There's a big mess to clean up." And she's like, "It was a nightmare. It was everywhere." And I knew straight away. So I said to her, "Were you multitasking? Were you doing two different things at once?" And she's like,
Mm,
"Yes." And I said, for me personally, especially cacao or anything that I'm trying to do that's more intentional, nothing else matters. You get out the ingredients and you intentionally use each ingredient. I thank each ingredient for the gift they're about to give me. I'm with
mhm,
that process. Even if my machine is doing the stirring, I'm still intentional when I'm putting it into my machine. I'm still intentional with the journey of it. I don't care that the washing machine has finished. I don't care that I need to then put all the ingredients away. No, this is what's the most important. This is where my intention or attention is so that it's intentional, right? And
exactly.
she said to me yesterday, because she came to visit yesterday, she goes, "I now know that when I'm making cacao, because it's an intentional and sacred plant medicine, that I need to just focus only on that, then put the stuff away, then sit down." Like, don't try to do two or three things at once because otherwise you're spreading your energy into
Hmm.
so many areas that it's like, well, where's the love and the potency of your energy that's gone into that drink when you're doing three different things at once?
Exactly. Exactly.
Intention is the biggest thing with anything.
For everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who it is.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, let me
Gabby.
show.
Gabby
I
says, "So
wanted to
how do
show.
you do the kick out?" So I'm very much like also almost a kitchen witch is how I actually started out was kitchen witchery.
Hmm.
And I don't tend to follow too many recipes. I'm a bit of this, bit of that, bit of this. But with cacao, it is really like individual. So start out with 10 grams of cacao, 15 if you want it a bit stronger, 20 if you want a really deep meditation. But I tend to do about 10 to 15 grams of cacao to about 120 mils of water, a splash of milk, a squeeze of honey, and then whatever herbs and spices I want to use. That's it. I don't really measure properly. But again, it's, that whole, when they people say, oh, everything tastes better because it's made with love. Well, it's not just love, it's intention. That's what it is. So when we say, oh, homemade food, it tastes better because it's made with love. Well, yeah, because that's our intention. That
That's
we,
true.
as
That's
the
so
cook,
true.
has put our energy into something. So if somebody tries to make the same recipe or the cacao or food or anything, it's going to be different because everybody's energy is different,
Hmm. Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know?
That's so
So
true. That's so true.
yeah. But the
Mhm.
key for cacao is not just intention, it's blending. So if you don't blend it properly, it's not going to be creamy. It's going to be all um I don't want to say gunky, but yeah. It doesn't emulsify properly. You've got to blend it. So even if
Okay.
you just
Okay.
use like those little stick blenders with the like little whirly thing on
Hmm.
the end, use one grainy. That's a good word. Yeah. Use one of those.
Great.
Sometimes I use a milk frother. If I'm making a lot of cacao, I'll do it in my big Thermomix because I'm making it for like 16 people. I don't want to be standing there. Or you can just hand stir it with a whisk. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, you know what, you've got to stand there and stir it with a whisk. And it's like, no, you don't got to do anything. You do what works for you in your life on your journey. And if I've put my intention in and gratitude into the ingredients and then got my Thermomix to actually prepare it, I'm okay with that, you know,
Mhm.
because that's my journey and that's what works in my life. Yeah. So, what were you going to show me there? I'll type in my
Oh,
recipe.
yes.
Yeah.
Because I forgot when I showed the plants that I wanted to show this one, oh my God, to people because sometimes like we have been discussing, it's not that complicated. This is a cactus, a regular one, and this is really protective. So, and sometimes you feel
Wow.
drawn to things without knowing because actually I have these two cactuses placed in my windowsill in one of my windows. And then I discovered or I read about it that they are actually really protective, and that's the way to use them. You put them like in a corner of the home or in a windowsill. So sometimes we already have the magic at home
Yeah.
and we don't know, or it's something that you can get like really easily. So I just wanted to give this tip to everyone that this is also something that is really protective and you can have in your home and it's not that complicated. Of course, you get it with the intention of that. Same with the aloe plant.
Yeah.
Aloe vera plant is also extremely protective, especially for the home. So
Yeah.
you have a plant like that placed in your home, it's gonna be really good for that. It's gonna be protecting your home.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's really good. So it's the regular things that we have also, besides the intention that you place
I think
on
it's
them.
also important to know that just because it's not like the most beautiful and soft and cuddly plant or animal or anything like that, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its place in our life, you
Exactly.
know? So,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah. So I've just typed in, well, I've just put in my thing. So those numbers are grams.
Yes.
I just copied and pasted it that I sent to my
Okay.
girlfriend.
Yes.
So that's
Yes,
in
yes.
grams on how, so 125 grams of water, 10 or 15 grams of cacao, 60 grams of milk when I measured it for her, 20 grams of honey, and then whatever spices, So, but it's individual. You might not like it like that, and that's okay. So, but yeah, I think everything on the planet has its place. Like even like I'm not big on snakes. I'll tell you right now, I have the massive phobia of snakes. I cannot fathom how anybody could cuddle those things. And if I don't know if Mariah is here, one of our followers, that she's got snakes as pets. And if I see her, when I see her posting them on her social page, I'm like, nope, nope, scroll past, scroll past. I don't want to see it. But it holds a place in nature. They still
Yeah, that's
have
true.
they have a purpose, and just because I don't love them doesn't mean that they're not on the planet to protect and teach me. There'll be something in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I listen to a lot of Jaguar Medicine Tribe music. I don't know if you've heard them. They're here on Insight Timer. They've got the most amazing, amazing, amazing music. And every day I listen to their opening the sacred circle and then closing the sacred circle. But their four main animals that they call on is the condor, the serpent, the jaguar, and the hummingbird. And so every day I'm singing to a serpent, and in my head I'm like, I'm trying to love you. I'm trying to love you.
I feel the same way, and I am not a person who is particularly inclined to animals. I have mentioned that in my readings. I mean, I do love butterflies and some birds and all of that, but for example, I don't have pets. I don't feel called to them,
Me
but I do
neither.
respect, yeah, the people who have them. And as you said, they are souls like us, so they do have a place in our life as well. And
Yeah.
I mean, the plants, the stones, us as in this incarnation as human beings, and also the animals, we are all souls, so we deserve the
Yeah.
same respect and love.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And I don't have pets, obviously for other reasons, because Jordan's allergic to every animal on the planet, so we can't have them. But I'm not called to looking after animals. Like I'm in a point in my life where I don't want to be looking after something that's super needy. So I don't want a pet. But I have a spirit familiar. Like I don't need to have a physical familiar. I have a spirit
Mhm.
familiar, and it's a wolf, and I've got it on one of my cups. And I actually named her Belladonna because
Oh.
she's both protective, but she can be poison if I'm not paying attention. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's got that whole double edge to it because that's what I need. That's what connects me. I'm reminded of both the light, the dark. So my wolf
Yes.
is my spirit familiar, whose name is Belladonna.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah. Oh, well, we've reached our hour. How fast has that gone? Is there anything
Yeah.
else before we head off that anybody wanted to quickly ask, or your email if there's anything that you wanted
Mhm.
to say? I'm gonna pop up. You've got a live coming up. I'm gonna pop that up there.
Oh.
There we go.
Thank you so much
You're
for that.
welcome.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I do have that oracle readings. Actually, yes, with one of my Green Witch decks this upcoming Friday, I believe it is. Yes, Friday, I believe is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, it's there.
Yeah.
I need to figure it out. It's just there on the card that you published. So yes, with this deck. So yes, looking forward to have a good time. Yeah, but basically that's what I have upcoming this week, and I will have more sessions in the other weeks. And I also published recently a course for the uses of. You have it?
Is that
Oh my
it?
God, yes, there you are. Oh my God, you are
Yay!
amazing, girl. I love you. Yes, you're amazing. Yes, yes, yes. So yes, this is one that is for the Green Witch and Oracle readings for people who want to use that and learn about it. And the one that I published recently is about the magical uses of some plants or herbs that you have in your kitchen or easy to
Yeah,
get, so you can use them. I do have some, let's say, like spells there that people can just grab and just use them. They don't need to be like researching a lot. So
yeah.
that's another course that I published recently last week. So yes.
I love that.
So thank you for that. And that's what I am doing right now besides everything else. And all the ideas that I have for things to do on Inside Timer, but the time and everything, you know how it is, but
Yeah,
ideas, 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 and then, but where do I find the time to do all these? I want
yeah,
to do meditation sessions live also because I have so many, many meditations there, mostly in Spanish because it's my native language and I started like that on Inside Timer. But I want to do, besides the courses and everything, some meditations live, and I have some ideas already. Well, I have the idea and everything. It's just that, okay, the time, let's see.
yeah,
But well,
yeah,
you know how it is when we are so creative also, we come up
yeah,
with so many ideas and then we need to find the time to execute them, but
yeah. I've
it
got
will
I've
come.
got enough ideas, I think, to keep me
Mhm.
going until I'm about 500 years old. Yeah.
For sure, for
It's
sure.
like finding that time. It's making that time. Yeah, making it work.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's been such an honor to have you here, and I hope that this is the first of many sessions that we can do together over the coming course of our journeys. So, even if we tried to do
Yes,
something like once a month, it would be lovely to just connect in with another witchy soul and we'll have some new ideas coming together.
you
I hope
read my
everybody who
mind
has
because
been watching
yes, I
has
was thinking
enjoyed it.
exactly about that. I was like, because you sent me different ideas, and I love this. And I was thinking that yesterday and today. Carly and I haven't discussed how we will do it if we decide to continue doing this, but I do feel that once monthly would be
Yeah.
great. So,
Yeah.
see,
And
we are
because then it
saying
doesn't
very
overwhelm
soon.
us when we've got other things going on and things that we need to do personally
Exactly.
as well as
Of
things that we want to
course.
do individually. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I have had such a great time, just sitting here and talking to each other and to everyone else on the chat, and all the love and the hearts and the comments and everything. So yes, I feel honored, and I am so happy that I was able to connect with you here and to everyone else. Everyone is so lovely, and yeah, my fellow witch as well, sister. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. I love you. I appreciate you so much. So yes,
Oh,
looking
thank
forward to the next
you.
one.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Oh, so for me, I'll
Mhm.
be here on Friday, my time, I think, with Violet, which I'll put that card up in a second. But I've got my cacao on Sunday night which is our regular, or my Sunday night cacao. This week is cacao and creativity. So we're going to be doing a little creative activity at the end. I've also recently finally had my dun, dun, it's here
Of
somewhere. There it
course.
is. My course.
I
So
saw it. I saw
it's
it.
an elemental cacao journey course. And it was my first after 4 years here on Insight Timer. It's finally happened. And Violet
Wow.
was the first one who completed. And I swear, even though it was a 6 day course, I think she completed it in 1 day. Um,
Wow.
she just went
Cool.
next,
The best
next,
student.
next lesson, next lesson. She loved it, which was great. So,
That's
um,
awesome.
but yeah, I've just loved being able to be part of this amazing platform and to be able to bring our energies and our individual perspectives and experiences to this type of environment to bring us all together. Yeah, actually, I don't have for some reason, I didn't pick up the I am session with Violet when I created the cards, but I did pick up our next tarot and
Oh,
cafe
yes.
session, which
Yes.
will be there. And I know CG's just come in just recently. So CG, Soraya, and we'll have Vivian and um, oh, it's Thursday morning for me and Wednesday evening for you. So if you want to see, I'm going to be doing some dot painting on the creative session with Violet this week. So I'm super excited about that.
Mm.
I said this morning, I
Oh.
said, I'm just going to be creating dots. You guys can do all the talking. So yeah.
So I do
All
think
right.
I'm going to participate on that one too. I haven't confirmed to Violet officially, but I
Yeah.
think I will be able to make it. So yes, I'm confirming here. I will
I
be
love it. I
on
love
that
that.
session as well. Yeah,
Yay. Coming
for
together,
sure.
bringing us all together. Fantastic. Oh, all
Yes.
right. And just because I don't want to miss out on telling everybody how amazing Violet is, Violet also has a course. There it is. Violet's
Yes.
manifesting with scripting course. Go and check that out as well. So, all of us putting our beautiful offerings out onto this platform. And for so many people that don't realize, this platform is literally an offering. It is not a business.
It
It is the donations that we do get. They're small and they're beautiful and they're received
is.
with love. But it is an offering of service that we give to this community, and we do it with love. So, and the way in which you can repay any of the teachers here on Insight Timer is to show up with an open heart, with love and respect, and 5-star reviews. Don't go giving anybody 3-star reviews. If you didn't like it, just move on because it brings down everybody's rating. We all deserve 5-star reviews. Full stop. Full stop. If you didn't like it, don't review it. That's fine. Just move on. Never
That's
look
it.
at it
Move
again.
on. That's true. That's not for you, but maybe it's for
That's
someone
right.
else.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this is all gifted with love and we are human beings. So when as a teacher we receive a 3-star review that's something that we have given for free and put our heart and energy into, and I get that it might not resonate with you and that's great. And unless it's a review that says the audio background was shit and squeaky and that needs to be fixed, fine. But if it just
Mhm.
didn't resonate with you, be respectful to the teacher and know that that offering is not for you, but it might be for somebody else. Okay. Because, yes, like
Yes.
Violet said, it is a gut punch when we put ourselves out there and we get disrespected. We don't all have to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. I'm certainly not. I am a cup of gasoline and I'm going to burn that shit up. Like, and that's okay, but. Um, just be that's my biggest thing is just be respectful to each and every teacher here
Mhm.
on Insight Timer for whatever we offer. And if you can't donate, that's okay too. We're not here for that. We're here to spread awareness and love and send out those ripples to the universe. So show up,
Exactly.
send the hearts, write great reviews, share onto your socials of who we are because that spreads us around. that's how we come together,
Mhm.
and
And apply the teachings in your daily life also, because that's
yeah.
the thing we are providing. There are so many wonderful teachers here, providing so much guidance in spirituality and so many other things. Just not come here only just to entertain yourself during the day or just like to receive some message. Put it in practice in your life, do the work
Yeah.
so you can see the transformation, and then you can also help other people transform themselves,
Yeah.
and as you said, then transform the world together. So it's basically not only learning, it's applying as
Yeah.
well. So that's super important too.
It is because if you don't integrate the work that we are
Mhm.
offering, whether, not everything's going to resonate. You might take a little bit from me, a little bit from Emma, a little bit from Violet, and that's okay. But if you're going to keep showing up and not do the work and not integrate it,
Exactly.
nothing will ever shift or change for you. So
Exactly.
we do these offerings for a reason because we've put them into practice ourselves. Every single teacher here on Insight Timer has experienced what we are sharing now, right? So it's important that
Mhm.
you start to integrate little bits of it because otherwise it's you're, and I don't want to say this is not a judgment, but it's kind of like a wasted opportunity when
Mhm.
you don't start putting some form of it into practice for yourself. So we don't need to hold so tightly onto the past versions of ourselves. It's okay to let go and step into the magic of what could possibly be if we gave ourselves permission.
That's true.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that.
CG's like, preach.
Great. Yes, and I was going to say yes. Actually, CG has been well, we have been talking all about that, but CG has been the main ambassador of this, of
Mm.
integrating. And when you mentioned that word, I thought about her because she actually mentioned that yesterday as well
I
in the
know I was
session
trying
that
to catch
she's
up on all our
doing.
chats.
Yes, on the chat that we have, we were talking about that too. And she was mentioning that on her session last night as
Mm.
well. Well, for me, it was during the night, that session. And she has been preaching about that as well. So I was thinking about her
Yeah,
as we were mentioning this because it's so important.
it
And
is. It
I
is
think
really
many
important.
teachers already, we are seeing these patterns and we have been feeling called to, to basically emphasize on the importance
Mm.
of doing the work and
Yeah.
practicing, to improve yourself and to improve with each other as well, because we are teachers here, but at the same time, we are also students of life and still practicing and still learning. And we are still in this, human experience. So basically, we're still trying to do better and get
Mm.
better. No,
That's
we are
right.
not
And we,
perfect.
as guides and teachers and support, that's what we're here for. But we can only support for so long if you're not willing to step up as well, because you've got to be able to step into the role for yourself with us as a, an aid, because we're not going to do
Hmm.
the work for you. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I've really
Mm.
appreciated this time. This has been absolutely amazing. Don't go
Yes.
anywhere yet, Emma, because I want to have a chat with you after I hit
No,
end.
no, for sure I
But
won't.
we're going to say goodbye. We're going to say goodbye to everybody that was
Goodbye,
here.
guys.
Thank you very
We
much. I
love
really
you.
appreciate it. Bye,
Love
everybody.
you so much.
All right. Let me go over and hit stop